You're also shattered because it was a contrived event that was ritualized. In other words, there were lots of things, components that led up to it. Which the day 911, an emergency number, yes. 2 tall buildings, 2 ones. Saturn was in Gemini. Gemini is 2 ones. Saturn is an old structure, power behind the scenes. It's your teacher, tough lessons. And Pluto was opposite it. So the setting was correct, and it was a ritual sacrifice that was offered to, let's say, other realms to enter into your world, and the death was a sacrifice to get their attention in a big way. In many components. Of course, it shattered all of those who lived there. It shattered the mass psyche. Now, do not let the trauma of that event ruin your life. Do you understand, Molly?
I do. I wonder...
Use it as a teaching. Give great thanks that you were there as a ground zero observer, that it is etched on your soul. Look beyond whoever did it and all the death and the wounds and all the things we are saying, and say to yourself, somehow my highest guidance wanted me to participate in this so I would know this story. But don't let it stop you, defeat you, traumatize you, and ruin you. Put it away, but never too far. And know it is a friend of sorts that can motivate you to move into higher consciousness. You follow what we are saying?
I do. When you're talking about this very powerful occult energy,
yes.
Part of what I think about with September 11th is how do we grow to be able to, I don't want to say confront, but so that we are as powerful as that. Is there any other wisdom that you might say to guide?
Hold in your heart and your intentions that it is your intention in this lifetime that the truth be exposed, and that all of those who are in deceit, their energy collapses inward. And if that is your intention, without any vindication, without vengeance, but you are really clear that this was not right and that you are calling for justice. And this is a wonderful call. This is the old Egyptian motto, to call for ma'at, to call for justice. Saturn in Libra can bring a lot of justice. And so if you hold that, then believe us when we say there are many people on the inside who are horrified at what happened. Horrified. And you know, the older people get, and the sicker they get, and sometimes the pressure, and they realize, I'm going to spill it all. And you are coming into a time, Uranus in Aries. There are going to be big whistleblowers. There are going to be stories that are going to blow people's minds. And of course, many people lose their lives in this process. The people behind the scenes are desperate to keep their secrets, let's say, hidden from the public. But the energies of the cosmos say, no, this is the time of knowing. This is the time when all things out of ethical order must be exposed. So do you understand where we're at?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
You saw it so that you held it in your mind to say justice must be brought to this and it must be exposed, and I want it, put all my energy behind it. But you don't have to go out and do unless you are really in that system. Believe us when we say there's a huge buzz that wants to break this open. Many things open. And they're waiting for the right time. And as things start to wobble and collapse here and there, and the global elite, let's say, fumble on their own plays, some of this other clarity will start to rise. But do not be surprised if the tops of the government and the tops of philanthropical, the tops of electronic industries, corporations, all of these people are swept away and exposed in massive, massive scandals. We do want you to understand that there are good people out there, and many of them have lost their lives in attempting to expose things. But there are good people. And in general, as we look at the people of Earth, you are good people. You have good hearts. Your problem is that you are naive. You don't have psychic senses, so then you rely on what someone tells you or what you see, and henceforth you have become dumbed down to, let's say, an insult to your own potential. And so the antidote to all of this and the energies that are rumbling and roiling everyone is to awaken each and every human to a new capability of personal autonomy to discern the truth themselves. This is a good thing. This is an excellent thing. It is happening. It will happen more and more. It's going to be quite an exciting summer for you. When we see you all in the autumn, we will be in full blossom, full fruit, as it would be. So does that help you, Molly?
Yes, thank you.
Good, good. Questions?
My name is Tricia.
Tricia, loud and clear, please.
I'm curious about systems change and what you said, I think your vehicle said about systems that have an absence of consciousness, like schools and healthcare. And what would you say about the capacity to integrate, like integrative medicine? I'm particularly interested in the potentials and possibilities around.
And what does integrated medicine refer to?
The mixing of the healing modalities, the East and the West, if you will. You know, the allopathic and the complementary services.
It's where things have to go. There is certainly a greater respect in Eastern medicine for the substances of the living library. In other words, they don't put patents on them and synthesize them into expensive and malfunctioning drugs. So there is, again, greater respect and knowledge of the living library. Although sometimes the Eastern medicine gets crazy and they go kill animals for their penises and horns and things in this nature. So it's not all, we're not talking better than that. And Western has, let's say, developed a sense of assistance, but Western has missed the point on the body being a living thing. Everything is like a piece of meat they are chopping open. One of the biggest things Western medicine has missed is realizing that if you transplant organs from one body to another, you are mixing genealogical lines and you are mixing consciousness. And even though a number of people have spoken out, a few books have been written about it to transplant recipients, realizing that the consciousness of the dead person came along with the organ. And many of them have suggested that they take up habits and they live now and do certain things that they did not do before, and they found out that the recipient, the owner of the original organs, had those predilections. So it is showing you. So Western medicine wants to play Frankenstein, chop this up, put this here, little bit of this, little bit of this. Western medicine has been cursed by the machine kingdom, because everything has become machines. How many Western medicine practitioner can put their hands on you and feel energy? How many of them will even tell you about eating the right food or drinking water? So in some ways there's an integration, but that integration is still a band-aid. Medicine must understand that emotional trauma from this lifetime and others weakens the body, and that emotional trauma is a key to the soul's development. And it can be tracked astrologically, it can be tracked numerologically, it can be tracked in your veins, in your hands, it can be tracked in your eyes. There's so many ways of knowing. And so Western medicine is up for a big crash.